Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Indiana Dave and the colossal corrugated iron Doom Fortress. But this was originally going to be a first impressions video, whereby I gave my sort of first impressions / review of Fallout 4. I tried to do that earlier today. I tried to record it. Tried to be as brief as possible. Finished recording, shut down the recording software, opened up my raw footage folder. Turned out the recorded footage was 1 hour and 20 minutes long. As it turns out, this game is too damn big for me to do an adequate first impression / review of and keep it down to a reasonable size, I'm afraid. So, here I am. Stood on the top of me corrugated iron Doom Fortress. At a bit of a loss for words. I don't really know what to say. The reason I'm making this video, to be honest with you, I really wasn't going to. By the time I was done with it earlier and saw how long the video was and thought to myself, you know what, screw this, I'm not going to actually bother. I've kind of decided, well, people have been asking me for some kind of first impressions or something, just anything really, my opinion of the game written down in black and white, or in this case broadcast to you in 1080p widescreen resolution. So here you go, as brief as this can possibly be, my opinion of Fallout 4. Pros: 1. I can dress up as Indiana Jones and go running around the wasteland. 2. It's a lot more like Fallout New Vegas. By which I mean, the writing doesn't suck completely. You have a bunch of companions, AI companions, followers, whatever you want to call them, that come around with you, that aren't completely rubbish. So not like Skyrim's, basically. This game has a combat system that is actually good. I mean, it's actually very, very good. It's genuinely fun. The weapons and armor and systems and the weapon modifications and armor modification system is actually quite good. It's probably the most complex, but Bethesda have bothered to do it in one of their games since Morrowind. I mean, quite honestly, the way the modular armor and modular weapons and everything work, it has about the same level as depth. I'm slurring my words at the minute right now because I've had a few. I've just got back from the cinema. I was watching a film and it's quite late at night, but hey, whatever. The way it all works, the modular weapons and armor and stuff like that, it gives you about an equivalent level of depth to the way weapons and armor and enchanting worked in Morrowind, i.e. you could have clothes with armor layered on top of them and then more clothes layered on top of the armor, and then you've got different bits of armor, like you've got your pauldrons and your gloves and your boots, which are individuals, and you're split into left pauldrons and your right pauldrons. Well, it all works a bit like that in this game. I'm not actually wearing an example of it right now, which is a bit unhelpful, I know. I'm wearing just a set outfit, which has a set armor value, which is, you know, whatever. You get outfits like that, and then you also get the stuff that you can whack loads of modular bits of armor on top of. Power armor is a thing that's actually interesting now, as opposed to a big metal suit that you can just wear for as long as you damn well please. Effectively just an item of clothing with ridiculous stats. It is no longer the case. Power armor is treated as a vehicle, effectively, that is actually powered by batteries, aka fusion cores, or whatever the fuck they're called, that you actually have to find out in the wasteland. And if you don't have enough fusion cores, your suit runs out of juice and you become a big metal statue, effectively. It also gets damaged. It needs to be maintained. It protects you a hell of a lot against radiation, so it's very good to wear in very hot radiation zones, and should be reserved for those instances. It also restricts your movement. You can't craft. You can't interact with objects in the world. You can't, for example, hack terminals, as far as I'm aware anyway. I think last time I tried to, I wasn't able to. You can't hack terminals while wearing power armor. Why? Because you've got big, chunky metal fingers that can't type on a keypad. Makes sense, right? So yeah, the main plot, the main quest, although I haven't quite finished it, I'm almost all of the way through, is actually good. It's actually pretty good. It's fairly well written. It's not complete balls. i.e. it is actually, once again, it's the best Bethesda have done since Morrowind, in my honest opinion. It, you know, wipes the floor with Skyrim's main quest. It wipes the floor with Oblivion's main quest. It makes them look like a joke by comparison. You know, it's... people have asked me, is it better or worse than New Vegas? It's difficult to say because they're two very different stories, but they're both of fairly comparable quality, let's put it that way. But they are very different stories, telling very different types of story, albeit within the same universe. But hey, the dialogue is actually befitting of an RPG for once. By which I mean you have multiple options at every juncture, with different attitudes you can take towards a situation, and other NPCs, including your NPC companions, can chime into a conversation and have their opinion. They will like or dislike things you do, as in your NPC followers will now finally actually have an opinion on you as a person, as opposed to being just someone who sort of blindly follows you along whatever the hell you do. Your NPC companions will get pissed off with you if you do something they don't like. They will like you for doing things they do like. They will not just sort of do whatever and then occasionally moan about it in a dialogue conversation with you or something. They'll actually, you know, they have an opinion on your character and how he or she acts and what they do. The dialogue is voice acted. The player character is voice acted. No, it is not dreadful. The voice acting is, in my opinion, actually pretty damn good. And since this thing lives or dies by how good the voice acting is, that's a bloody good thing too. I'm not against having a voice-acted main character by any stretch of the imagination. I'm just against having a voice-acted main character with a rubbish voice actor, as was the case when I played Dragon Age Inquisition and hated it. However, this I have enjoyed. It's very good. The quality of the writing on the player character's perspective is equally quite amusing at times. I've enjoyed it. The dialogue itself, you may want a mod for it. Okay, I'm just saying. I'll see if I can jump off my ridiculously oversized, effectively a soapbox really here, and go talk to someone. And bear in mind, the reason I was stood all the way up here is because I have so many NPCs in this little settlement of mine that it gets very fucking noisy. But hey, we'll go talk to Strong. Strong, you'll do.
Puny human needs strong.
Yes, Strong.
Strong.
Strong go with human.
There you go. So, here's your dialogue. You typically get 4 choices. And normally, what you actually get is a bunch of vague options that are basically like 1 or 2 word answers and don't reflect what is actually said by the player character as a result. For example, this right now would probably read in the vanilla game, yes, no, trade, and why come with, or some shit like that. I don't know. Go talk to someone else. Trying to no Codsworth. I don't bloody McCready.
Hold up a sec.
There you are. I almost thought you forgot about me.
Yeah, see, basically I have a mod that basically, for those of you who have been in my live streams, you'll know that I had a problem with the dialogue in that it didn't give you it didn't tell you what you were actually going to say to an NPC. It just gave you a vague buzzword like sarcastic or questioning or whatever the fuck, you know. Basically, it wasn't telling you what exactly you were going to say, and it really annoyed the piss out of me, to be honest with you. And see, I told you it was going to get noisy pretty fast. Let's run over here. And Nick's following me around because I think he's my designated companion at the moment, and he can't deal with... None of my NPCs seem to be able to deal with the stairs I've built up onto the roof there. It messes with the pathfinding. So anyway, that was sort of on purpose, before you ask. But anyway, Nick here is a very good example of one of the NPC companions not being completely rubbish. In fact, Nick's awesome. He's like probably my favourite character. But anyway, another example here. See, this is right. Here's a bit of a glitch. In some cases, when you in some cases, it actually shows you the original thing still. So this is what you would normally get: talk, stay, cancel, trade. But most of the time, the mod I've got fixes it all. In actual dialogue, conversation-y things, in actual quests and things, you know, shit that's actually important, it seems to work 100%, thankfully. So anyway, that would be That's a mod recommendation from me. If you haven't already got it or know about it, get that shit. I'll put a link in the description. And it pretty much fixes the one problem I had with this game, honestly. Everything else I really like. So yeah, there you go. Main quest is good. I'm not going to fucking spoil it. I'm just going to tell you it's pretty damn good. Your mileage may vary. I don't know or care. I have enjoyed it a lot so far. And like I said, best they've done since Morrowind. Honestly, I don't know what Bethesda have done. I think they must have got a brand new team of writers or something after Skyrim. I think they looked at New Vegas and they looked at Skyrim and they looked at all the criticism they got from reviewers as well as the fans on their characters and their story being complete rubbish in Skyrim. And I think they've actually fucking acted on it and they've actually come out with something pretty good this time. So yeah, there are all sorts of other topics. We could talk about just the voiced protagonist for fucking forever if we wanted to, as well as the backstory your character gets, how it relates to the story in the game, the world itself, the world design, the different factions you come across, all of that shit. We could be here for literally forever, and that's pretty much what I was doing the first time around trying to make this video. So there it is. I'm not really going to say any more at this point, other than, you know, combat's good, crafting's good. The settlement building shit is good, as you can see. I've wasted a huge amount of time on that. For here and other places too. The characters are great. They're really fun to be around. They're very well scripted. They're very well voice acted. Even their AI is pretty well done. They move and act and talk and react to you like actual people as opposed to robotic NPCs, which, you know, Bethesda are pretty good at doing in the past. Even the robot companions are amusing. Really, seriously. Like, even, I mean, Codsworth is kind of, he's just, well, he's a bit rubbish, but Curie, the other robot you saw floating around there, probably, she's pretty great. Ridiculous French scientist robot, just, you know, barrel of laughs. Anyway, so and Strong, the super mutant over there. Yeah, no, really good, really good. The main quest has been good. All the other quests in the game have been, you know, pretty good. There have been one or two slightly dull ones, but most, by and large, it's been really nice. Really blows the quests in Skyrim out of the water. The factions are all interesting. The whole moral choice aspect of it is very, very not clear-cut at all. It's nothing like previous stuff that Bethesda have done, where you've got a big bad villain and you've got good guys and they have a big fight and you complete the main quest by defeating the big bad guys. Doesn't seem to be like that at all whatsoever. You've got factions which seem like good guys but actually turn out to be a bunch of well-meaning idiots. And you've got factions which seem like bad guys but actually turn out to have the right idea. Depending on your perspective, I don't know, but anyway. So that's good. Writing dialogue's good, characters are good, everything else is pretty good. It is, what I will say this game is absolutely not is dumbed down, which is a nice thing to be able to say about a Bethesda game these days. In fact, it's quite the opposite. They've actually, I think if you compare this to Skyrim, they've actually taken a step in the opposite direction. They've tried to make it a lot more complex and a bit more, really, what would be the word? Hardcore, I suppose. Such a silly word, but yeah, I guess that would be how I would describe it. It feels a lot more like the old Fallouts, actually, really. I would compare this almost less with something like Skyrim and more with something like Fallout 2, actually, in many ways, this game. So yeah, my overall opinion is pretty good. Pretty good. If you're one of the people who really likes Elder Scrolls games for their sandbox type attitude, where you make any character you like and play it any way you like and all that kind of thing, maybe you won't like it so much. But if you're like me and you appreciate a good RPG that sometimes, yeah, it does give you a very fixed starting point with a character with a bunch of set guidelines, kind of like Fallout 2 did, with you starting out as a tribal character that was the grandson or granddaughter of the character from the first game, you know. You know, it did that. It was another very fixed backstory kind of starting point for your character, and yet Fallout 2 is one of my favourite RPGs of all time, and remains that to this day. So, you know, anyway, that's enough, folks. Wonderful, wonderful sunrise there. The lightning effects in this game are gorgeous, if nothing else. The textures could do with some work, but that's the sort of thing modders generally fix anyway, and I'm sure it's a console limitations type of deal here. So yeah, there you go, Fallout 4 is pretty fucking good. and I'm going to continue playing it a hell of a lot more. I've put up just over 100 hours into it so far. I will continue playing. I'm still not done with the main quest, still not done with the factions. That should give you some level of how much stuff there is to do in this game. And I'm going to keep going. Yeah, so yeah, in case you were wondering where I disappeared to over the last week or a week and a bit, yeah, this is where I've gone to. Fallout 4 has pretty much taken over my life. It's been, for the last week, pretty much, do nothing but eat, sleep, shower, and play Fallout 4. I'm happy to say. The wonders of not having an actual job to go to every day, I suppose. So yeah, I'm still working my way through it. I've still not finished the main quest, as I said. I've been deliberately pacing myself. I'm leaving it sort of... I want to be able to finish the main quest and have that pretty much be the last thing I do with this character, at least until the DLC rolls around. People will no doubt ask, are you going to do a Let's Play series of it? Almost fucking certainly. This game absolutely deserves one. Just not yet. I'm going to be waiting until all the DLC is out, till all the patches are out, and hopefully some good mods as well. I can see, while this game is pretty good for a release game from Bethesda, I can see a lot of potential for modding. I've already made a note of a whole bunch of things you could do quite nicely with modding. I'm already using a pretty useful mod as it is, as I said, with the whole dialogue thing. There will inevitably need to be some sort of mod for the PC user interface, which, as per usual with Bethesda, is a bit rubbish. I'm also using a mod that allows me to alter the field of view in the game. Be aware, if you're a PC user and you are not happy with games that give you a low field of view, which is locked, and no option in the options to fix it anywhere, you're going to need to do some tinkering with this game, because this game locks you, I think, at a default FOV of about 60 or something absolutely abominable like that. I pretty much had to... I started playing this game the day I got it, and within about 15 minutes had to save, quit, and modify the FOV with a config thing I downloaded from the Mods Nexus, so be aware of that. Bethesda have, while they've made an excellent game in my opinion, they have flipped the bird to the PC user audience once again. But yeah, so yeah. And from a technical perspective, I guess it's pretty, other than that, fairly good. I mean, performance-wise, I'm getting 60 frames per second, more or less now, wherever I go. Admittedly, I have a bit of a sort of... My PC is a little bit overkill, because it's actually optimized for a whole bunch of very complex flight simulator type rubbish, which is a massive hog on resources, so it kind of chews up and eats Fallout 4 for breakfast by comparison, but even so, it's very nice. Two things: if you are getting bad frame rates in Fallout 4, two things you may want to take note of. Turn your God rays down to low rather than high. As you can see, they still look lovely. In fact, the visual difference seems to be almost non-existent between low and high or ultra God rays. The only difference is they will destroy your frame rate. And the other thing is maybe lower your shadows as well. I lowered my shadows actually all the way down to medium from ultra, because in some of the highly densely populated areas like downtown Boston, I was getting a frame rate drop, which was fixed by lowering the shadow distance. Apparently the margins for how far away from you the shadows are drawn jump a ludicrous amount from medium to high to ultra, so another thing worth bearing in mind, maybe, if you're getting bad frame rates. Lower your shadows and lower your God rays and see if that makes a difference, because it did for me. So there you go. Guess that's it. I'm going to shut up now and I'm going to bugger off. This video has been 20 minutes long, more or less, which I feel is more than adequate for the barest of bones of first impression videos that you're ever going to get from me. And so there you go. I absolutely love it. I've disappeared off the face of the earth because I'm effectively stuck in Fallout 4 at the minute, and I will not be returning until I'm done with this game, which will be maybe a little while yet. I'm getting there. I'm getting towards finally sort of through with it. So yeah, it's great. It's great. I'm really liking it. Especially given my expectations were pretty low. I didn't think Bethesda were really going to be able to, or were even going to try to sort of play to the level that Fallout New Vegas managed when it came to making an RPG of this kind of style and this kind of engine. in this kind of world. But no, they did pretty damn good. As I think it's a combination of them having looked at the success of New Vegas, having looked at a lot of the criticisms people had of Skyrim as well, and I think Bethesda have learned from it, and they've actually, for the first time in a very long sodding time, I can tell you, made a actually competent role-playing game. Don't let all the kind of crafting, open world, settlement, base building nonsense get in the way. It's actually pretty good fun. Those are bits of Super Mutant. But don't let that get in the way or cloud your judgment. They've actually made a very, very good RPG here, in addition to all that stuff. God knows how. I guess they've got such a big budget now that they can afford to have a team of guys working on this whole completely separate thing here, and working on building, pretty damn good first-person combat, as well as doing a whole epic, really good story with really good character design and dialogue writing and shit. So, yeah. They've managed it somehow. They've done what I thought Bethesda were probably never ever going to do again, which was to make a good RPG with a good plot and a good story and some good characters, but they've actually gone and done it, and I'm actually really pleased, because they have, your mileage may vary, but Bethesda, as far as I'm concerned, have fixed a whole bunch of the kind of laundry list of issues I really had with Skyrim when it came out, and which I've gone over in countless previous videos I've done, whether it's Q&A videos or opinion videos or live streams where people have been asking me questions. I've gone over so many times it barely is worth repeating the number of problems I had with Skyrim, and most of them came down to crappy dialogue, crappy quests, crappy characters, and crappy story. And those things, those main things, those are the main problems I had with not only Skyrim but Oblivion as well as Fallout 3. They done gone fixed them, ladies and gentlemen. I think this here is a combination of sunrise and redunculous fog right now, because I was gonna say, like, we're basically in Silent Hill right now. Yeah, the fog effects are maybe a bit much in this game. I'll say that right now. But it's, whatever. It's good. It's cool. It's fine. They've definitely gone for something a bit more stylized with Fallout 4 as opposed to photoreal, and I'm totally cool with that. It'll probably mean the game will look better longer, really. Because I think we all know how old Skyrim's graphics got very, very quickly. So, yeah. Anyway, that's it from me. That's it from Nick Valentine here, who's really cool. I'm not going to tell you anything about him because I don't want to spoil it for you. That's it from Indiana Crumpington here in his Indiana Jones outfit. It's not an actual Indiana Jones outfit. I should stress this. It's called Kellogg's outfit, and I'm wearing a worn fedora apparently, but it's blatantly the Indiana Jones outfit. I'm sorry, but come on. I mean, look at it. Anyway, thanks very much, everybody. I'll be back with you. Normal service will resume just as soon as I'm done with Fallout 4, which probably won't be too much longer now. Like I said, I'm getting towards the end of the main quest, and so on and so on. And I'm reaching a point where even if I'm not completely finished with this, I need to get on and do some other shit before I get completely burnt out. And yeah, so that's where I've been. I've been sucked into this game. This game that is so much better than it had any right to be, as far as I'm concerned. But there you go. So anyway, yeah, have fun, everybody. If you haven't got the game already, get it for Christmas. It's totally worth it. And yeah, your mileage may vary. Fucking don't hate on me if you want to have a massive fanboy flame war in the comments. I don't want to know, guys. I really don't want to know. I'm just telling you what I thought of the game personally. If you want to see more of it, like I said, I'm not going to be doing a series of it for a while yet, but I have been streaming it every now and again on Twitch. In fact, I've done a couple of really long streams of it. Which you can find on my Twitch page, twitch.tv/SorcererDave, I think. And then you go to my past broadcasts, and you can watch it all on there. It's not going on YouTube. I'm not uploading it to YouTube, pretty much full stop, because, one, the quality is not very good, and it gets even worse when you try to encode it over to YouTube. And also, it's not part of, if I'm going to do Fallout on the channel, it's going to be part of an actual structured, proper series, as opposed to me randomly pissing about Which is all they've been, all it's come down to. So apologies if you were hoping to see a bit of gameplay here. No, not really. Sorry. If you want to see gameplay, if you want to see me actually playing the game and forming my opinions live, as it were, then you can go watch that on my Twitch page. So other than that, yeah, I guess that's it. I'm going to shut up now, and I'm going to stop talking, and I'm going to possibly play a bit more of this, or just go to bed, because it's kind of late, and I'm really fucking tired. So, yeah. Have fun, everybody, and I'm gonna piss off now, so ta-da.